Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. So let's get started. The times of the live streams have switched from Wednesday to Thursday. I think we're going to get a bit more activity on Thursdays at this later time. Hello Timothy, how are you doing? Shahid, what's up? You want to see gold? You're interested to see why it went bullish after CPI. CPI was more than expected. Yeah, so let's take a look. FX Wolf, hello. What's your take on the euro and the Japanese yen? Yep, we'll take a look. So first, as you know, today we did have a big news event. It was basically right here we had the inflation rate. Why? Right. So if you go to Forex calendar, I usually get all the news from Forex calendar. If you go to Forex calendar on Forex Factory, you're going to see Thursday, 10th of October, you had CPI and you had the unemployment claims. Okay. So the results came in that the CPI is 2.4, meaning it is greater than the forecast. The forecast was 2.3. And usually actual greater than the forecast is good for the currency. So it's good for the euro, for the US dollar. Okay. So the initial reaction was kind of bullish, you could say. And then you also had if I open it, you had the unemployment claims, which were higher. The actual number was higher than the forecast. So actual less than the forecast is good for currency. So this is actually bad for the US dollar. That is why you had kind of a conflicting result, I would say. So no real conviction on the news side. Now for gold, let's open it up. So here we have gold. Here we have CPI. Okay, this is a bullish candle. And again, so you had the CPI, which came in higher than the forecast, and that's good for the currency, for the US dollar. And you had the unemployment claims, which came higher than the forecast, and that is bad for the currency. Okay, so you had CPI, which was good for the US dollar. You had unemployment claims, which was bad for the US dollar. That is why I would say you got kind of a more conflicting result. On gold, why did gold go bullish? Again, no one can really tell why it went bullish. As I said, the news result was a bit conflicting, but it was definitely a more bullish scenario than on the, let's say, the euro and US dollar. You can see a lot more indecision on the euro and the US dollar when compared to gold. Gold was pretty bullish on the actual news. Okay. So FX Wolf, let's do the euro and the Japanese yen, since that is the one that I actually do trade live. And this is looking very interesting, okay? So I definitely had my order on right here at this point. Okay, I did have a sell setup. I used a 15 pip stop loss. I had a sell limit. What did I like about it? Well, let me list some of the good signs about this potential setup. First one was the ascending channel. You can actually use the channel tool. So like this, here, ascending channel pattern, pretty clean, not the cleanest, but it's looking okay overall. And ascending channel pattern is a bearish pattern. So this signals a downtrend. It signals a bearish market. One more thing I liked is that this high took out this high right here, right? If you measure it, you can see it took it out by 3.6 pips. So it kind of went into the liquidity area. It was almost sort of a liquidity sweep and rejected. So that is another sign for a bearish market. If you go to the 4-hour, which is not something I do for trading decisions, but it's interesting to see. You can see it a bit more clearly. We broke this major high, retraced. We broke this major high, retraced. So all of these are big bearish signs in my book. Okay. And then you had, whoop, alarm. And then you had this, come on, you can do it. You had this momentum, one candle pullback, no buying pressure, okay? So you had no buying pressure in the pullback, break of the low with force, So I definitely did have a sell limit in the market with a 15 pip stop loss right here, okay? No, I actually was bigger. I think I had an 18 pip stop loss. Yeah, it was 18 pips. 18 pips because using a visual assessment, 18 pips did look good. So I did have 18 pips order on. After this candle, I did unfortunately remove my order. One more good thing about it was that it was Thursday. Usually Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays are the best days to be taking trailing entries, okay? So Thursday was another advantage. And then basically had a sell limit right here. After this candle, I started to see a bit of weakness. I started to spot double wicks right here, which is a bearish sign. It is a sign of weakness. It is a sign that I don't really want to be a seller in this market, to be honest, okay? So I did remove the order, and then if I did leave it on, price would have hit. I would maybe have gotten stopped out, possibly. I think I actually would because of spreads. Let's check. Yeah, I think I would get stopped out on this trade. And then price did melt down. So if I did manage to stay in, this would be running around 3.8% profit, or a bit less, 3.2% profit. But again, I didn't take it. I didn't like that second candle. It kind of signaled a range or a complete reversal. If you took it, I think it was a high probability setup. The per price action was definitely good. So you definitely had the per price action on your side, which is what you want. The ascending was nice, not the nicest, but it was okay. The takeout of this major high was pretty good. That was a really good sign. So yeah, basically running nicely. What is my game plan gonna be on the euro and the Japanese yen? So Shahid wants gold. Tell us about the CPI results. Yeah, I'll definitely go over gold in more detail, but I did go over the CPI results at the beginning of the stream. We'll do gold after the euro and the Japanese yen. So yeah, basically EJ. Did I take any trades? No, I didn't. From the time of the last live stream, which was on Wednesday or somewhere around here, I believe, or on Thursday. I think it was Thursday, actually. Yeah, last week on Thursday. Nothing much was happening. This was okay. This momentum to the upside. The Shek family. Hi, Marco. I already seen you on Nick's live stream, which I follow every day. Ah, nice. Yeah, so I live stream on Trader Nick's channel every Thursday at 1:45 p.m. Okay, at 1:45 p.m. every Thursday. Trader Nick, make sure to check it out. I'm glad you follow the streams because they are very valuable and very fun as well. So right here, maybe I was looking for a buy setup, but it didn't look the best, especially after this candle formed with a bit of a wick. I definitely did not like that. Okay. So I did not have an order on in the end, and then we also this was too late on a Friday. My cutoff time is 5 p.m. Friday, so I start trading 8 a.m. On Monday London time. I stopped trading 5 p.m. Friday London time as well. So that is why I wasn't really looking for anything right there. Then we just went into a descending channel, going into an ascending channel, and then we had this formation happen. So yeah, there were a couple of signs to go bearish that a potential downtrend is going to occur in this price action. Okay, so the ascending and the takeout of this high retrace. Yeah, currently not really on the watch list. Yes, I do expect for this to melt down more. I do expect more downside, but one thing I definitely don't like in the current price action are these wicks. These wicks right here, huge wick, large wick, another huge wick, and a small wick. So seeing a definite slowdown on the bottom right here, which is not a good sign. And I don't really like that. So I would want to see more bearish momentum kick in. I would like to see something like this happen, and then a nice flag setup like this. That would be pretty high probability, and especially with the price action, I would take a sell setup right there. So actually, let me put this one on the watch list. Let's follow this. Let's follow this. Let's see if we can get just a nice candle down without these wicks. Just a nice candle down without the wicks. That would definitely fit the plan. Okay, so that is EJ. Now let's do gold. So Shahid, just a quick recap of what I said about the news. So it was CPI and you had unemployment claims as well, right? So if we go to, again, Forex Factory, Forex Calendar, Forex Factory, you had the CPI and the unemployment claims. CPI was bullish on the dollar. Yeah, CPI was bullish on the dollar. Unemployment claims were bearish on the dollar. So it was kind of a conflicting result on gold, and that is on overall on the dollar. So that is why, for example, on the Euro US dollar, it was kind of a huge wick up, huge wick down. Not really a direction has been picked. But on gold, it was a pretty decisive bullish candle. Right here on the 1 hour, it's pretty messy, to be honest. I'm not really seeing any high probability patterns, so I would stay out of this price action. I would wait for the price action to clean up a little bit. If we go to the daily is definitely trending up. I'm seeing some signs of weakness, some signs of bearish momentum right here, and here in this leg. But overall, it is still going up with force. We have some nice signatures of bullish momentum, so that is looking pretty high probability, and I would expect more upside on gold to happen. That is going to be my bias for gold on the daily chart. 1 hour not looking the best, not looking decisive, not seeing any high probability patterns, but the daily very bullish, seeing a lot of bullish momentum. Yes, there's a bit of a pause, but this can very easily continue with the overall uptrend. And this kind of looks like a flag as well, which is a bullish pattern. Okay, flag is a bullish pattern. So it has the first high, first low, second high, second low. This would potentially be the entry candle, and that is a bullish pattern. Okay, now we're going to go to the euro and the US dollar, since that is the pair I trade live. And it was pretty interesting. From last Thursday, we had this drop range, but then we had a pretty clean, pretty nice descending structure. So I definitely liked this price action right here. Let me point it out right here. This descending channel. Very nice, very clean, very high probability. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive breaks of the low. That is a very clean descending channel pattern. What happens in most cases is you get something like this, a nice big fat blue candle, and then you get an uptrend. What I try to do is I try to get in on these pullbacks and I try to buy on an uptrend. So unfortunately, this time it did not play out. Let's click X. So we had the news right here. We had the CPI, but it didn't close bullish. It just could not print a nice bullish print. It could not show me a nice clean close. It did go up, but it printed a huge wick, really, really big wick, and I definitely did not like that. So yes, the descending channel was pretty nice, pretty clean, pretty high probability, but this candle just could not print a nice clean close. If it had printed a nice clean close, for example, like this one, see this blue one? If this one happened here, I would be probably looking for buy setups, but there was a wick on the top, so no trades. Then we retraced, big bearish momentum right here. Now we're kind of in no man's land. The Sheikh family asks, what is your bias on the euro and the US dollar? Before the news, right here, I had a very, very bullish bias. I was still looking for evidence, but overall, this was a very clean bullish pattern. Now, seeing a lot of indecisive price action, again, huge wick up, huge wick down. In my experience, usually what you get after this sort of a candle is you get a range. So that is what happens most of the time after such a candle. Let me check out the news. So PPI is coming up. It's gonna be on Friday, okay. And then you have some Euro news, and not that important. PPI is gonna be important. So usually CPI and PPI are pretty volatile events. The whole beginning of the month is usually pretty active. You get the NFP Friday, you get the CPI, then you get the PPI and unemployment claims, or sorry, inflation rate, blah, blah, blah. We don't really care about it. I mean, it's important, but we look at the technicals. I personally look at the chart. I look at the evidence on the chart. I look at the momentum on the chart. I look at the trends on the chart to pick a direction to show me if I want to be a buyer or a seller in a particular market. The Czech family. So for you, it needs to break the wicks before you can take a trade. So for me, if, for example, this next candle, after the news candle, if we had a big blue candle like this, that would be good. That would be good enough for me to take or to look for a buy setup. If it, of course, had a clean close. If it had a wick on the top, then I would not be happy to take that buy setup. But if it had a nice clean close on the top, then yes, I would be happy to take a look for a buy setup. It could have also closed bullish here. It could have printed a clean close. What do I mean by a clean close? I mean this candle. This is a good example. See this candle right here. On the top, it barely has any wick. Barely any wick. This is a good one as well. On the bottom, barely has any wick. So that is signaling a lot of strength. A lot of strength in the markets. That's about it. I mean, on the euro and the US dollar, I'm not going to put it on the watch list. It doesn't look clean. It doesn't look that good. It's just, I'm expecting a range, to be honest. I'm expecting this to happen. I'm not seeing much potential with the euro and the US dollar, unfortunately. So let's move on to something a bit more interesting. Aussie US dollar. I did take a trade right here. It was a liquidity sweep. So let's replay that. Okay, so the liquidity sweep. Basically, I saw a range, identified a flat range right here. Then you had the lower liquidity area, okay. Price went into the lower liquidity area, rejected with a nice fat blue candle, and then I took it with a 10 pip stop loss, aiming for a 3-to-1 risk to reward. So yeah, I was betting on this thing to touch the liquidity and then reverse up. Usually that does happen. I mean, it has a good profit expectancy. You can make some money on it. This range was pretty clean. One more thing I like about this liquidity sweep is usually the liquidity sweeps that form inside of the major low and the major high, okay, like this, usually they do have a nice win rate as well. They have like a 55% win rate. That's another reason why I liked this trade. I know my colleagues did not take this liquidity sweep because they saw the overall trend, right? It's pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty strong downtrend. Price is definitely overall moving down. So being a buyer in that market may not be the smartest of things, but according to my backtesting, even these sweeps can produce a nice result. And I wasn't aiming for a complete reversal. I was just aiming for a simple 3-to-1. I was aiming for those, 30 pips? Yeah, I was aiming for 30 pips. Unfortunately, got taken out. And then price did start to go up a little bit, but it would be a loss nevertheless. So took a loss there. Now I'm seeing a bit of descending price action. A bit of descending price action right here. Did we have any opportunities from Thursday last week? Not really. We had this massive news. This was NFP. Yeah, okay. So the first Friday of the month at 1:30 p.m. London time is usually NFP. Pretty volatile news event. Pretty important as well. So no entries right here. Nothing really that caught my eye. Then we had a very interesting entry right here. Yeah, this one was pretty interesting. So let me check it out. So market is definitely trending down. Overall, we can spot a definite downtrend, a lot of bearish momentum. And then we had a nice push down right here, pullback, no buying pressure. So very, very strong selling pressure continues down. Nice clean close. So this is exactly what I want to see. Okay, this candle is exactly what I want to see for me to be a seller, or for example, if this looked like this, for me to be a buyer in this market. Okay. So this was very high probability, very, very nice. Nice clean close. One thing I didn't like, that it was Monday. So my entry would have been right here on this level, on this low. For the market to tap my entry level, we will need to print a bit of a shift in momentum, okay? We will need to print a pretty big bullish candle. So I would have liked if this came up in a bit of a slower fashion, maybe in 2 candles, right? If it came up in 2 candles, I would have taken this trade. But then what happened is the first candle was just too aggressive, too big, too bullish for me personally, and I didn't want to take that trade after this bullish candle. On the Aussie US dollar, I'm pretty aware of the shifts in momentum. Usually a shift in momentum is a pretty big warning sign. So seeing this, I wasn't really interested to look for a sell setup anymore. I think Nico from Zentum Trading, he did take this sell setup. It was a loss. I think it just took him out and then it continued down. But again, it is what it is. Fit his plan. It did not fit my plan. Current price action. As I said, pretty descending, not the cleanest. Why is it not the cleanest? Because we are breaking the highs as well as the lows. So when I want to spot a clean descending channel, I want to see the market break only the lows. So I want to see only the lows being broken, okay? And right here, we can see it broke the high as well right here. See, broke the high. So it's not the cleanest descending channel, but it's still looking pretty nice overall. If we can print a nice bullish impulse like this, I would be interested in buy setups. So I am actually going to put this pair on the watch list. I think it looks much better than the Aussie US dollar, or sorry, the euro and the US dollar. The CPI was not that big, so the reaction was not that significant. I'm not seeing a lot of indecisive price action. So if we can pick a direction right now, if we can print that nice bullish impulse, yes, I would be interested to look for buy setups. And that would be high probability in my opinion. Let me just check out the overall story. Yeah, this is kind of a strong downtrend, and then we're definitely starting to pause on the bottom. Definitely starting to pause. So possibly a sort of a correction is due, right? Maybe a bit of a correction is due. Maybe we can get something like this. A nice uptrend for a while. That would be pretty high probability. That's it for the Aussie and the US dollar. Next one is the Aussie and the Japanese yen, where I did have a trade that was pretty painful to look at. So it was right here. And I took it with, I believe it was 15 pips. Yeah, 15. So what I like about this trade, well, I liked this momentum. I liked this bearish momentum right here. I definitely liked this strong push down, nice strong impulse down, pullback, no buying pressure, so a really small pause, and then we break the low with force. This is a nice candle as well. A lot of momentum in this candle. Put a sell limit right there. One more thing I did like about it is we took out this major high. So it was sort of like a liquidity sweep. I mean, if it's tough for you to see, you can go to the 4-hour. And you can see how this area was a significant high. We just took it out, printed a huge wick, retraced. So this right here is a pretty bearish sign. Okay, that is a pretty bearish sign in my personal opinion. So that was another, let's say, reason why I did like to look for short trades right here. Okay. That was another reason. The fundamentals behind it, I'm starting to look into the fundamentals as well to see if I can. So my main goal with looking at fundamentals is for some trades where I'm right on the edge, like I'm asking myself, I'm looking at the chart and I'm asking myself, is the trade valid or is it high probability? Should I take it or should I not take it? Maybe I can implement, that's what I'm researching. Can I implement fundamentals so that I can have another factor to make a decision for me? So let's say if I see a valid setup, the fundamentals are behind it, I may take the trade. Or if I see a valid setup, the fundamentals are against it, so they're telling us that the market is, let's say, bullish, the chart is looking bearish, then I will stay out of the trade. So that is something that could be an extra edge and something I'm looking into. With this trade, the fundamentals were kind of a little bit bearish, but not that much. So the fundamentals were pretty neutral, I would say. And it was a bit of it was not a complete no-brainer. The reasoning was it was Monday. Usually on Monday, I do not like to take these sort of trades. Our price action could be better. I said it was good, but it could be better. It was kind of flat overall. Yes, that there was that liquidity sweep, but overall, this did kind of look like a flat range. So 2 warning signs, Monday and the flat range. That is why this trade was not clear cut. It wasn't like an absolute no-brainer. Again, I did decide to take it, got taken in, almost got taken out, price went down, almost got taken out again, price went down one more time. It was running around 6% at one point, okay, 6%, and then finally it went up. So that was tough to watch because this did last. I got taken out right here on this candle. This thing did last from the 7th of October all the way to the 9th of October. So it lasted for a while. It was a roller coaster. It went into a lot of profit, but I could not reduce my risk. According to our trade management rule, we never got that opportunity. And then watching it go all the way back up and taking me out for a reduced risk loss was tough. I'm not going to lie. So in the end, from a 6% running winner, we went into a losing setup. Happens usually at least once per year. So at least once per year, I will get a trade on a Japanese pair where it goes into like 6, 8, maybe even 10% profit, and then it reverses all the way back up and takes me out for a loss. So it happens at least once per year. It is the cost of having that sort of a trade management that we use. Andre says, so painful to watch. It was pretty painful, especially when you wake up during the night at 5 a.m. and then you see the trade reversing on you. So that's not a fun experience. It's the price that I need to pay for using a trailing stop loss. If I used, let's say, I don't know, I took half at a 3-1 or I took half at a 5-1, left the other half running, then this would be a winning setup. But overall, I would make less percentage. Especially on those big running trades on the Japanese pairs. So real nightmare. It was a bit of a nightmare. But again, I'm kind of used to it by now. You know, it happens at least once per year. And it has happened to me in 21 or 22, 23, and now in 24. So yeah, it's pretty tough, but part of the game, part of the trade management. You need to pay the price for having such big risk to rewards on some trades, because some trades on the JPY pairs went to 15%, 20, some were even 25% winners. So the price you need to pay for huge winners is that it can sometimes completely reverse on you, and then this happens. But that's about it. Current price action, not the best. Not the best. Yes, I'm kind of seeing an ascending channel right here, but it's not the cleanest, and overall structure is pretty corrective. We have not taken out any major highs like we had here in this case. Only high probability pattern that I'm seeing is this V reversal, inverse V reversal, which is a bearish pattern, okay? So this pattern is telling me that the price is likely to go down. It is telling me we're going to get something like this. Okay. I'm not going to put this pair on the watch list right now. I'm just not seeing that momentum. I'm not seeing that signature. Price action, as I said, not the cleanest. But if this inverse V reversal can play out, if we can get a big bearish leg down and a nice flag, that would be interesting. Okay, that would fit my plan, and it would take a sell setup in that case. So I'm going to be monitoring. I'm going to be closely watching the Aussie and the Japanese yen, and I'm going to be looking for that strong bearish momentum. For now, currently, it doesn't look that good. It really doesn't look that good. And currently not really on the watch list. Pound and US dollar have loads of news. Pound and US dollar. Let's see. From Thursday, which was right here, we didn't do anything. There were no high probability entries that fit my plan. But overall, this is definitely printing a descending channel. Is it a clean one? Actually, you could make a case that it is a clean one as well. Why? Well, as I said, when I want to spot a clean descending channel, I want to see price only break the lows. So I want to see this. Boom, boom, boom. Another one. See? Only the lows being broken. What I don't want to see is if this breaks the high, if this breaks the high, and this, let's say, breaks the high and then breaks the low. That's not a clean one. This is kind of a clean one. We have 1, 2, 3 consecutive breaks of the low. See this low broken correctively. This low broken correctively. This low broken correctively. Loads of wicks. Absolute weakness right there. So that is a bullish pattern. This is a sign that the market will could possibly start trending up. Okay. So that is a sign that this could happen. I'm actually going to put this pair on the watch list because it does look pretty interesting overall. You don't see these patterns that often. You definitely don't see these patterns that often. So if we can get the signature, if we can get that bullish momentum, if we can get something like this, and then a nice buy setup, that would be pretty high probability in my book, okay? Pretty high probability in my book. But again, I need the signature. I need that momentum. I'm not going to do anything before I get that momentum. Tomorrow we have, what we say we had PPI. Maybe PPI can create that sort of momentum that we need, right? So maybe at this point we can get like a big push up, and then the next candle can continue and we get a super clean flag. That would be a good story. Until that happens, I will be more patient. That's kind of it for the pound and the US dollar. Last one that I trade live is going to be the New Zealand and the Japanese yen. Did I take any trades going from last Thursday? I didn't take anything. This was some okay bearish momentum right here, some consecutive red candles. Couldn't play out. Instead, it completely reversed the upside, so nothing. Another drop. I was looking for sell setups right here. After this momentum, this was looking all right. Nothing majorly interesting, but I did like this leg down, pull back, another strong leg down. In the end, nothing really caught my eye. Nothing really fit the plan. Right here, did this break the low? 599. Okay, yeah, so this broke the low, retraced. We kind of started to descend right here on the bottom, which is not really a good sign. This descending was not really a good sign. That is exactly why I was not looking for a sell setup. What I would have liked, if this candle was big and bearish and had a clean close on the bottom, this would have been pretty interesting to look for a sell setup. But again, with this candle breaking that low, retracing, and then another one, pull back, break of the low, retrace, just signaling weakness. It's kind of printing a small descending channel right here on the bottom. So it's not looking that good, unfortunately. Then we were just flat. We started to be really flat, really corrective. This is looking really range bound for me as a trend trader. It's not something I want to see. The only high probability pattern that I can spot is right here. Okay, so the only one that I can spot that is high probability is right here. So this is an inverse V reversal. It is a bearish pattern. You had the momentum going up and then a quick reversal of the momentum straight down, shooting down. V, usually you get a bit of a range, drop down, and then a downtrend. That is what happens a lot of the time, and you can extract percentage from the markets by looking by trading these entries. But again, I need the signature. I need that push down. And only then will I be looking for a sell setup. So I'm not really going to put this pair on the watch list just yet. If we can produce that signature, because overall it's looking just flat, right? It's looking pretty flat and range bound. But if we can produce that strong push down like this, and then a sell setup, I would take that trade. That would be high probability in my book because of that V reversal. So that is going to be on my radar for NJ. That's about it for the ones that I personally trade live. Now I'm going to do some popular instruments, I would say, like the S&P, NASDAQ, gold, Bitcoin, blah, 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 blah. But let's see what is happening. So the S&P, 1 hour, sort of an uptrend. But what's really important for me is the daily chart. Okay. So what is really important for me is that daily chart, and the daily chart is looking pretty bullish. People were expecting a massive sell-off. People were expecting a massive bearish market on the daily. They were expecting for this to drop down. But as you can see, we had a quick, complete reversal back up, right? Very quick reaction. Usually, a lesson is, usually the market takes time to go up, as you can see here, but the drop is usually very fast. See, the drop happens in just a few hours or a few days. But so it's pretty weird that we had the big recovery that was so fast, and then another sell-off right here. See the quick sell-off and then the quick recovery. So that is pretty interesting to see. That is also the V reversal pattern, which is in this case bullish. So this is a bullish pattern. This is another bullish pattern, right? So it was looking pretty high probability. And right now it looks to be continuing up. Again, we're not getting that that massive bullish momentum. We're not getting those huge bullish legs like we got right here and here and here, okay? But it's still going into new highs. It's still pushing up, it's grinding up. A quick lesson is, if you're trading Forex, the S&P does not move the same as Forex. Forex moves differently. I try to apply my trading strategy and my stop loss methodology and my stop loss size to the S&P. It didn't work. It didn't work quite well. So it moves a bit different. The bullish momentum can sometimes look pretty corrective, right? So the market, the S&P is known to trade like this, sort of in a channel, right? Let me check out the 1 hour if I can maybe spot it. Yeah, look at this. This is usually not how Forex pairs move, at least in my experience. So moving in an ascending fashion right here as well. So it is moving up, but it's moving up more correctively. You need to know that. You definitely need to be aware of that. So I would say this is going to continue going up. I have a bullish bias on the daily chart on the S&P. There's no signs of stopping. There's no big bearish pressure. When we get bearish pressure, we get a quick recovery, a quick rejection, a quick V reversal, which is a bullish pattern. So yeah, I'm bullish on the S&P. Nasdaq, a bit worse. It's still approaching this major high, so it doesn't look as good as the S&P. But again, it all follows the S&P. If the S&P goes up, Nasdaq will follow as well. But the technicals are telling me that it is not the best. It's not as good as the S&P, because again, we're still approaching that high level. Gold, we did do gold. We're gonna just do a quick repeat, maybe for the viewers that weren't here. So a quick repeat on the gold analysis. Strong momentum up and another strong momentum up leg. Right here, yes, we're getting some selling pressure, but I'm still not convinced that this is gonna go down. I'm still more convinced that this is actually gonna continue going up, okay? So we have that sort of a flag pattern, which is a bullish pattern. Okay, this is our flag. Has 4 points, first high, first low, second high, second low. That is exactly the entry pattern that I trade live for my trading strategy. And the bullish candle is gonna be your entry candle. So I would say this has potential to continue going up. 1 hour is probably gonna be a bit messy. Yeah, so we covered it. It's pretty messy. But the daily bullish, I would say the probabilities are telling me this is gonna continue. This will continue to go up. Okay, so that's it for gold. All right, next one on the list, silver. Okay, here we have silver. It's looking pretty flat. It's not looking as good as gold. Again, it tried to push into these levels. It just could not do it. It rejected. So I would say silver is kind of more in no man's land. People say that silver does follow gold over time. It's like gold is Bitcoin, silver is an altcoin. So you could do that sort of an analysis. And I would agree. I would have to agree, but currently gold is looking better. Just take a look at it on the daily chart. Take a look at it. I mean, gold is just going up with momentum. Silver just being flat. Silver is just being flat, range bound and corrective. So it's not looking that great, unfortunately. Bitcoin, just no man's land. I kind of don't even want to analyze Bitcoin. It's looking corrective. It's been corrective for quite some time now. And it's not a good story. Not a good story for Bitcoin. What are my key levels? Well, I do have this channel drawn on. Okay. So some of the key levels would be probably this one, and of course the major high for sure. But you wanna see it break out of this channel. You wanna see it break out of the channel. Okay, this is a bit cleaner like this. You wanna see it break out of the channel. You wanna see it break out of the major high. Until it does, I'm expecting on Bitcoin. I'm expecting this more range bound price action. Let's not waste time on Bitcoin, because I have my key levels. Until it breaks them, there's nothing to do. Ethereum looks even worse. Ethereum looks really bearish. Again, the retrace from the major high, which was right here, is minus 41%. That's pretty big. That's pretty significant. But again, if Bitcoin goes up, if Bitcoin goes into a major uptrend, a major bullish scenario, you can bet that Ethereum is going to follow sooner or later. That's how it goes. So if Bitcoin decides to wake up, Ethereum will definitely follow suit. DXY, wow, DXY is looking pretty clean. Oh my God, this is a really good pattern right here on the daily chart. Really high probability pattern. Let me see the 1 hour. 1 hour is trending up definitely, but the daily is looking very nice. So this is the exact pattern that I love to trade on Forex pairs. You have the descending channel right here, which is a bullish pattern. Then you have the evidence of bullish momentum right here, a nice strong impulse to the upside, lots of large blue candles, okay? And then you have a pullback, no selling pressure in the pullback, so this pullback is pretty high probability, and then we break the high with some nice momentum. Visual assessment, yes, this break is definitely enough. After this candle, my order would definitely be on the inside bar. Okay, something like this. So if this happened on, let's say, the euro and the US dollar, this would be a perfect setup. Unfortunately, I don't trade the DXY, I don't trade the daily chart, so there's no trade to put on, but it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson of when to look for a buy setup, because this price action is looking very, very clean, very bullish. I'm very bullish on the DXY, which is the dollar index. So if this goes up, you can bet that most dollar pairs will go down. Okay, so if this goes up, EU will go down, AU will go down, and the pound US dollar will go down as well. And it's currently looking technically, just the technicals are telling me that this is very, very strong and very clean as well. US oil on the daily, it's pretty messy. Pretty messy right here. Kind of stuck in this descending, but I don't like this price action on the US oil. If I had to pick a direction, I could not really pick one. It's just looking pretty messy. Overall, it's flat as well on the daily. So yeah, just leave US oil alone. At least that is my analysis. That's about it. Let me see if the euro US dollar on the daily is looking very bearish. This is looking very bearish. So if this happened on the 1 hour, I would definitely be a seller in this market. This is looking absolutely insanely clean. So you have strong momentum down right here. You have a pullback, no buying pressure. You have break of the low with force, clean close, another candle, clean close. So I would definitely be having a sell limit right here. And I would probably already have entered on after this candle. I would definitely have my order on as well. But again, I'm trading the 1 hour chart, not the daily. EU, still nothing. EJ, rejecting, not the best. AU, unfortunately, it's not pushing up. AJ, not pushing down. Pound, not pushing up. And NJ, flat and range bound. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you everyone for watching. Next week, most likely stream is going to be on Thursday at 5 p.m. London time. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys took some value. Stay alert. Definitely keep an eye out of what will happen tomorrow. What will happen tomorrow on PPI? Definitely keep your eyes peeled for PPI. You want momentum. We like news. We need news. Without any news, there will be no trends. And the trends are where we make most percentage. So we are looking for the news events. We're looking for the trends to start. And then we're taking trades in those trends. So yeah, that's it. See you guys in the next one.